Good morning, early risers. I was awake by 6:30 yesterday, and on day 49 today, a Tuesday if I'm right, I have to keep track of the days. I've actually been up since about 5:15. My dear wife and I am married to a night owl, and I'm an early bird. I wanted to make today's video quite early on in the day. It's just about 23 minutes past 7 in the morning. It's beautifully quiet round here. I absolutely love it being so quiet. I don't know if you can hear silence. They always say on radio, don't let them listen to dead air. But just take a listen, see if you can pick any background sounds up on this mic at all, because it's practically total silence. Not very often you get to hear that, is it? There's something quite healing in silence, I think. As we now know, I'll try and make today's video a bit brief, actually. As we now know that on lifting lockdown, surgeons across the country, across the world, in the newspapers, are pleading for Boris not to do this. Parents are pleading for the government not to send their primary school age kids back on June the 1st. Children are pleading for the government, please spare the lives of my parents, my grandparents, those people I know with asthma, diabetes, COPD. Please, these people are pleading. Don't undo lockdown yet. People up and down the country in surveys that I'm sure you probably will have answered as well are pleading with Boris. Boris, I know the economy needs to function, they're saying. I know we have to have essential people at work, yeah? I know that it will be far worse if we don't get people back to work because society will collapse. People are pleading, though, and they're saying, I plead with you. I only work in a call centre. I can only sit a certain space away from other people, and the calls I'm getting, I can't even tell people the engineers are back at work. And Boris is going, don't worry. Soon you'll be sending those engineers back to fix tellies, to fix washing machines, to fix cars. You'll be sending them all back, and there'll be virus spreaders. We don't even have a proper testing regime in place yet. No, but it's going to mean back to work. I want you to try an experiment, okay? And this video will be over quite shortly. It's something that I just tried a moment ago. You know, most mornings I'll get up and I'll go, a bit of post-nasal drip. Well, certainly in that nostril. Let's try the other nostril. Quite clear. Now, what I'm going to do is something that I did just a few moments ago. With you present, I'm going to try just breathing on one blocked nostril. I know the last time I tried it, it doesn't work very well. Yeah, you don't get much air into your lungs. Yeah, but I want you to feel and kind of see. Obviously, I'm not going to put myself in any danger. Just how quickly that becomes difficult, and how quickly actually a sense of panic builds up inside you. Yeah, a real sense of panic, and that panic is fear. Okay, So let's try it. I'm sorry this is going to be a bit noisy, but imagine people really struggling for breath. Imagine those older people in care homes where they haven't even got the facilities to administer proper palliative care. Imagine them struggling for breath, yeah? I don't believe, at least I hope I haven't got it, I don't know. But I want you just to watch for a second, okay? Let's just cover that nostril, and I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to try and breathe through the blocked nostril, okay? Obviously, people who are, their oxygen saturation is so low, yeah? It obviously is a great deal worse than this, but here's restricted breathing through one nostril, okay? Okay, you've listened to that long enough, right? Now, it's difficult to actually, although you could hear that, and you could hear the blockage in the nose, and you could hear a slight wheeze, but obviously that was all mainly upper respiratory tract. It hadn't actually gone down through the trachea and whatever, and it hadn't got into the lungs and the bronchial tree, yeah? But I'll tell you something about those last couple of moments, yeah? Towards the end, I must have taken about 7, 8 breaths. Towards the end, I began to start to feel slightly lightheaded. It could also be because obviously the gas exchange in the lungs is not doing particularly well. It could be that I was also starting to build up a certain amount of carbon dioxide in there as well. Yeah, it's not so much just that you have to inhale the oxygen; you have to be able to expel the carbon dioxide, which is one of the reasons why certain types of ventilator that they use in surgery, for example, actually have a carbon dioxide absorbent in them. It's a chemical that just absorbs the carbon dioxide to prevent it being rebreathed. Yeah? Well, that was just like that. And I have to say, bearing in mind I'm making a public video, bearing in mind I know I'm actually going to be seen doing this, yeah? But I could feel a certain sense of panic actually arising inside me. I began to maybe just get some vague idea of what it must feel like when you can't breathe. Now, when you send people back to work, Johnson, yeah, when you do that, our health service will quickly become overwhelmed. They won't be able to cope. The vulnerable in the workforce, yeah? Imagine like if I went back and worked in a call centre with my heart problems, with my sleep apnea, with my diabetes. Imagine me having to hope to God that the person next to me wasn't carrying it, yeah? And if I got it, to me, That could be a death sentence. So what are you going to do with the vulnerable workers then, Johnson? Are you going to insist that they go back as well? Are you going to insist that the workers suffering from asthma go back? Are you going to insist that if they don't go back, they'll be dismissed? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to make them go back. You're going to force the teachers back. The teachers with pre-existing medical conditions. You're going to force them back as well. You need to think about this. It's too early to lift lockdown. Doctors everywhere are telling him that. But what does he want? Billionaires. That's what he wants. Billionaires are crying out because their fortunes are suffering. Billionaires are crying out. So you go back to work. You might have to. Will the NHS be able to care for you in those last days? Or are you gonna suffocate like so many are already doing? Please don't let them lift lockdown so early. Shout about it. Don't let it happen. Shout. Make your voice heard. Shout out. It's too soon. Bye.